finally locking in, man. I've been watching you for a little minute now, seeing you come up, seeing you. I feel like I've been seeing you for about the past like 4 years. I've been following you, but I ain't really been like tapped in for real, bro. But man, we got one of the hottest producers in the studio today, man. We got Fredonem in the studio. What's the word, man? What you been on?
Man, you know, a whole lot of grinding, a whole lot of dribbling, spilling. You know how it go, man.
Man, so first question I really got, bro. I went back and I watched I watched the interview you had did an interview with Slump Sessions, not like a couple like 3 years ago, I think it said.
Yeah.
And so I was watching the interview, and then as I'm watching it, I'm seeing you talk about how much you've been working and shit. So then I go back to your Instagram page, I get to scrolling, just looking through shit. And then I'm thinking like, do this nigga take breaks? Like, do this nigga like what? Like, have you ever took a trip or something like that, bro? Like something like what you been on, like as far as like, or has it been like straight grinding?
It's just been straight grind, bro.
Yeah.
I don't take no breaks. I don't have no fun. I ain't got time for it. I like Kobe. Kobe ain't never take vacation. So I just grind, stay in that gym. You know what I'm saying? Practice, getting that work in, putting them hours in, trying to get this sound and get this technique and everything formed all the way 100% to where I can perform my best every quarter. I ain't gonna miss nothing. You know what I'm saying?
So what's like? So what do you feel like you're at right now? Like how you feel about where your career right now?
I'm probably in, I want to say, like the best part of my career, honestly, because like everything that I'm doing right now, like I've been grinding so long. Like I started making beats when I was 13. I ain't really get my first record until I was 14. So when I was 14, that really solidified my stamp being a musician. So when I got my first little placement or whatever, it's been a grind ever since then. So I started real young. I'm still young, you feel me? And I'm just not getting to my greatness, even though I've accomplished so much. I'm just not getting to my full greatness in my career right now. So this ain't the peak, but this is the start now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
What kept you feeling from like feeling like you reached that moment? What kept you feeling like getting so big headed or feeling like you was that, like you was that nigga already because of like these hits you already got under your belt?
Because at the end of the day, bro, like I got my own goals in my head that I want to accomplish, and I haven't completed none of them goals yet. I've completed a lot of things and accomplished a lot of things, but as far as my personal goals and what I want for myself and what I'm trying to set for myself and do, I haven't done it yet. So until I do those things, I'm still not where I want to be at. And I've done so much, you know what I'm saying? I give myself a lot of credit. I'm grateful. I'm appreciative. I'm very genuine and generous and grateful, like I said, but I still got shit that I'm trying to do.
Outside of music, or are you talking about just within music?
Period. Just in life, period.
Yeah.
All the way around the board, just who I am as a person and my goals and, aspirations and stuff like that too. All around the board.
All right, man. So let's go back to the beginning a little bit. Like, where did music come into play at?
Music came into play just from me being a adolescent. My pops used to pull up. He always had a system in his car, and he'd be playing different kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? H-Town shit, Scarface, Ghetto Boys, Fat Pat, Pokey, Lil Kiki Don't Mess with Texas, Fat Pat, Ghetto Dreams, all that type shit. Spice One, Tupac, all that type shit. So I just fell in love with bass, and when I got in middle school, I really wasn't just really a social person like that. I'm still not really a social person, but I've grown to be more of a social person. But in middle school, I just really ain't want to click with nobody or go out to parties and stuff like that. I did occasionally. I had a couple people that I rock with, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I just did my own thing. So I never just really went outside and all that type of stuff. So my mama bought a keyboard when I was like 7, 8 years old. It was sitting in her store. She calling me, staying with my dad. You need to go get this keyboard. I spent all my money on it sitting in storage. You're not doing nothing. So I went to go get it. And I just came home one day. I was bored. I had an MP3 player. I was just listening to all the songs. My sister loaded it up for me. Used to listen to all these songs, and I was just like, headphones, I could hear the bass, and I just loved it so much. So I just pulled the keyboard out. I was bored one day, and I'm like, playing with the drums. I could split the drums on one end and the sounds on the other end. So I play different songs, like I mimic like my Dougie and shit like that, or Crank That Soulja Boy. I be playing them type of sounds with the right hand and then playing the bass and the drums with the other hand, and it just clicked like, what if I could record this? So that's where it started. I'm like, man, if I make my own bass lines, I can have people trunks knocking. And if you listen to my tracks, you know Fred got some of the best bass lines.
So what you feel like, what was it that made you like, that drew you to the beat side of it instead of like the rapping?
Just because I fell in love with the sound more than I fell in love with the lyrics. Yeah. Like, I've always grew up in the house with music. My mama loved music, my daddy loved music, and my grandparents on both sides. Like, I'm very seasoned when it comes to music. Like, I know a plethora of songs from R&B to gospel, country, hip hop, alternative. Like, I know a lot of different music, so I just fell in love with how music made me feel, and the feelings came from the instruments more so than the voice did. Yeah. So that's what drove me to want to make beats, because I knew I could take my feelings, how I felt every day, and put it into sound instead of trying to tell people, because I'm not really good with words like that, but I'm good with feeling, and music and sound, it makes you feel some type of way.
So when did the moment come when you was like, all right, you trying to start selling these beats now, you trying to start getting placements? When did you start learning about like shit like that?
When I seen niggas like Johnny Giuliano and Superstar O and Cardo Got Wings and Bobby and all them SoundClick producers, they on there making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars off selling MP3s online. Yeah. I'm like, man, I can sell beats. So I started putting my beats on SoundClick. Yeah. And I started selling beats then. That's where it started.
So what was the placement you got at 14? Was that one of the placements, or that was another placement?
Nah, that was a different placement. I had got through my cousin, just sending beats to him. He was like, man, I'm in here working with artists all the time. I'm trying to get you in the door with just to build relationships and stuff. So yeah. I sent him some beats, and one of his partners ended up rapping on it, and they pushed it, and it did a little something, but not too much. But it was cool though.
So when was that first placement where you was like, oh yeah, this shit getting serious?
I wanna say it was, I was talking to this lady, I can't remember what type of job she had at the time, but she was kind of like a manager of some sort. Her name was Sarah J. I would see her on the internet, and I would send her beats, and she thought my beats was fire, so I was sending her beats and shit. And one of my beats ended up getting in Young Buck hands, and shit, Young Buck rapped on my shit, put it on one of his mixtapes. I had a Young Buck placement. That shit was fire.
How long before, like, was your placement, was your producer tag already done?
Yeah, it was already
done. One, so has it been the same one since then?
Yeah, it's been the same one since I got my first major placement with an artist like Young Buck. You know what I'm saying? I made the tag myself. It's my partner boys from high school. Yeah. He the one said my name on it. We used to go to his crib, record songs. He said my name on the song. One day he just came to school one day and he just was calling me Fred on him. He like, it's that boy Fred on him. I'm like, shit. That shit sound live. We went to his crib after school one day. We was fucking around recording. He rapped. I used to kind of rap a little bit. His brother rapped. We made the beats together, so we collab on beats before niggas was collabing like that, because we seen Johnny Giuliano and them doing it. Yeah. And he jumped on one of my beats that I had made by myself, and he, at the beginning, he was just like, Fred on him, Fred on him. He did a delay with his voice like Pimp C used to do. And I just took the best one without him saying it over and over, and I just took it, threw it in the FL studio and edited it. And what y'all heard on many of my hit songs is what y'all hear today.
So like, once you start to get into this shit for real, like, did you ever like have a moment where you start going back on the older producers and shit like that, like studying different people?
Oh, I always study. I'm a student. Like, I love music. Like how a lot of people like love the NBA or they love NFL or they watch ESPN all day. That's how I am about music. Like, I know all the execs, all the A&Rs, all the producers, the artists who coming up, and I watch it just like, you know what I'm saying, like the sports game. So, Yeah.
Who would you say your like your favorite producers was or still is right now?
My favorite producers coming up.
Yeah.
Drummer Boy first. Shout out to my big dog Drummer Boy. That's one of my good friends. He actually gave me my sound in the beginning just from watching him. Shawty Red and Zaytoven, of course, like them was the three producers that I seen coming up that really just like they was doing it independently with all these different artists and bringing all these artists up. And if you notice, like me, like I follow their footsteps. Like I could easily go to all these labels and get these artists who are already popping, but I choose to work with the artists that's coming up and make them a major artist. And that's what Zaytoven, Drummer Boy, and Shawty Red did for most of their career. So I followed that formula, and I'm still doing that formula. You know, every artist that I've worked with and got placements with, they all from Houston, Texas, or they from Texas, and I help them come up in the game. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, how would you say you you go about keeping your stuff from sounding the same?
Just try not to be scared to do nothing. Like I don't put myself in the box and say, "Oh, I gotta make this because this was hot," or "I gotta make this because I want this artist to rap on my shit." I make what I want to make and what I want to hear, and eventually, an artist gonna hear it and they never heard nothing like that before, and they gonna say, "That's what I need."
Yeah.
Then they end up rapping on it. Now I got a new sound, and everybody want to make my type of beats instead of me making everybody else type beats. You know what I'm saying? It's free game right there.
So did you ever have the like the YouTube page with the type beats and all that?
Nah, I never put type beats up. But like to be honest, like when I first started, I was one of the first like producers to do the type beats type shit.
Yeah.
Way back in 2010, I was putting beats on my YouTube page, and it was Shawty Red type beats, Drummer Boy type beats, Zaytoven type beats. Yeah. I was doing that way back in 2010 before it was even a thing, and I just stopped doing it because I wanted myself to be more exclusive. I didn't want anybody just to be able to access my beats, or not even just access my beats. It just took a lot of time to make a YouTube video back then and put your beat on there and upload it, and it could have made me a lot of money back then because it wasn't no algorithm that would stunt your growth. I could just put it up on there, and if people looking for beats online, they can find it easy. But I don't know. I just stopped doing it.
When you feel like the type beats became like popular?
Type beats became popular probably about 2013, 2014. And I think it became popular because there were artists that wanted to learn how to make beats, and they got on and started making beats and putting their beats out to get heard. And then it was other producers who wanted to get heard, and they didn't know any platforms to get heard, so they was just putting their beats on YouTube. And not only that, it's like, okay, well, if I can't get them to rap on my ideas, I'll just make ideas that sound like other people's ideas, or you know what I'm saying, stuff like that, and put them up on the internet, and shit, people would listen to them. And I think it's a great idea, honestly. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't a great idea for me now that I'm seasoned in the game and I've been doing what I've been doing so long.
So like, what's some more genres you plan on getting into? Like, you ever start fucking with the country shit yet, or any R&B?
I do. I do pretty much a lot of different stuff, bro. To be honest, like if you go listen to Don Toliver first project, Donnie Womack, like I did some R&B tracks on that form. Yeah. I did maybe like one or two. I think it was one. Yeah, it was one. It's called Around. I did that one on his first project, Donnie Womack, and we got plenty of R&B records on Tuck that probably ain't ever gonna see the light of day. But yeah, I do R&B, I do pop, I do country, I do all that. I'm just waiting across the right artists to get these type of tracks to. Y'all start hearing the overload, flood. Y'all probably wouldn't even know it was me.
Have it ever been a time where like a artist tried to pay for a beat or get a beat from you but wanted to tag off of it?
Nah.
And do you do stuff like that? Like what you do? Like is that something you do?
I mean, as I've grown as a producer, I feel like sometimes the tag can get overbearing when somebody going through beats. So say if I give an artist 15 beats, and every time the beat come on, it's consistently the same thing. That's why like recently I've been using like different tags. Like I got 2 new ones now. Everybody love the new one, the Shoot Fred Shoot. And everybody love the Hey Fred, Bye Fred. You know what I'm saying? I've been using those outside of my original tag, but it get overbearing over time when you click on every track and they all have the same tag. They start in the same way, and sometimes the track might be aggressive and it's just too loud to just come on the track sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So some tracks I won't even put the tag on it just because of the way it sounds and how good it sounds. I don't even really care if people know it's me or not. When they find out it's me, it gives the thrill, it gives a shock value, but you know, I enjoy not being able to let people know I did this track sometimes. Like a lot of people don't know I did Tweety for South Walka until I just tell them I did that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get a chance to. Well, I did put my tag on it, but the engineer never switched the beat over, so you know that kind of was a little shock value. I still get that right now. People be like, "You did that?" I was like, "Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did Tweety."
That's what I'm about to ask too. But have you ever you never had one of them moments like you try to just hop on your own shit or hop on the beat? Or
I have. I have. I've jumped on a couple of beats and done a couple of beats back in the Gap. I had did a beatbox remix probably like when it was like after the pandemic or during the pandemic. I can't remember, but I had did a beatbox freestyle and I smashed that bitch. I'm talking about I smashed it and I lost it. I was like, man, if I could let somebody hear this, bro, they'd be like, damn, this nigga smashed that bitch. I kind of shocked myself. But yeah, I done got on some records before, done a little something. I didn't even wrote records. Like people don't know I helped write part of the hook to Flick of the Wrist.
That's hard.
Yeah, like me and Cheddar was in the studio. Cheddar was like, "What should I say on this beat?" And I was like, "Look at the flick of that wrist, the wrist. Look at the flick of that wrist." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's hard. I admit."
So how did that one come about? Like with the Cheddar to Connect. How did that like that relationship as far as like getting in the studio come together?
Before me and Cheddar started working, I had already been on Cheddar since like I want to say I've been on Cheddar since 2011. I think it was 11. It was either 10 or 11, one of the two. But Cheddar was managing T Wayne. He was his manager, CEO, all that type of shit. He still has it. He got a record label called We Running Empire, and he was pushing T Wayne and his artists at first. You know what I'm saying? T Wayne made the Nasty freestyle first. Let me high up. That's my dog. Like I started working with T Wayne first. And then over time, for me going to their house, they would come pick me up on the weekend sometime. And shit, over time, I ended up getting out of high school and I was able to just move around freely and do what I wanted to do. So I go to Cheddar House to work with Wayne. Cheddar ended up becoming a club promoter to help push Wayne music. And we had our DJ the club and shit. So one day we just came home from the club. We was feeling good about the record we was pushing for T Wayne, and Cheddar was like, "Fred, make me some beats." So I was in there making the beat, and he was like, "Make me another beat." And I'm like, "Hold on, let me try to add one more sound to this beat before I make another one." And I end up playing exactly what you hear in Flick of the Wrist today, the exact same notes with the same sound and everything. Everybody, as soon as I played it, everybody in the room was like, "Woo!" I was like, "Y'all like that?" They was like, "Hell yeah!" So I closed the beat out. I play exactly what they heard, put the drums on it, bounced it out, put it together. Everybody had left the studio by then. It was just me and Cheddar in that hoe at that time. And shit, Cheddar poured him up some syrup. He rolled him up a blunt. I played the beat back. We listened to it. He asked me, what should I say? I told him to say that. Then shit, he just came up with everything else. And he freestyled the verse. I took the best flick of the wrist that he said when he said, "Look at the flick of that wrist." He said it multiple times, but I just took the best one he said and I copied and pasted it. That's why people love it so much. It's just consistent as hell. So that's a free love. You know what I'm saying? Repetition is key. You know what I'm saying? It's a free game for my up and coming engineers / producers that want to learn how to make some good music. You know what I'm saying? That's a little tip right there.
So like, what would you say? What would you say? What would you say was the biggest hit so far? Like the biggest song that you had, was it that one, or what would you say was bigger? The biggest song?
Yeah, I say that was my biggest song right there because that song ended up going 4 times platinum.
Yeah.
I still get 5-figure checks off that song years ago.
You got the plaques and shit?
Shit. So at the time being, it was some shit going on with the guy that was managing both of them, T Wayne and Cheddar, when they became artists, because Cheddar wasn't an artist at first. So
yeah.
Once Cheddar became an artist, there was a manager in play for both of them, and he had the account to order up the plaques and shit for us to get them, and he ended up just quitting on us and doing some crazy, weird, lame shit. He just disappeared off the face of the earth, and he had the account to order the plaques, so I never got mine because he just got the password and he's not giving it up. We can't find the nigga. He don't respond.
Is that still something you still try to get today, or is it like you?
Yeah, I want it, but at the end of the day, fuck it, because I get paid off of it. Like, it's just a piece of plastic. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have. It's good to see. It's good for sentimental value because that's my first big hit, but the money worth more to me, so I don't give a damn.
So I see like you got a lot of credits, bro. You got Kevin Gates, Young Boy. You got Travis Scott, like you said, Don Toliver, Quavo. You got a lot of artists that you know that you don't work with. So like how some of these connections come into play with some of these big artists, like even like Young Boy and Kevin Gates, and then you got Quavo and shit like that. How some of these places come about?
Shit, relationships, bro. Relationships is worth more than money, man. Just being able to rock with people that are just as dope as you, that believe the same way you believe, and they going just as hard as you to be great, and they respect you and they love you and they willing to help you, and we all can make money together. Like, I got some really good friends in my corner, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I got a lot of that stuff going on, just having great relationships with good people that are just like me. So
how did the TSF come about? Because that's how I feel like that's when I feel like Cheddar to Connect with, that was the first one I heard the tag. And then I feel like around the South Wave too, when they first started coming in, I heard the tag a lot more too. So like, how did that relationship come about with the whole TSF?
Shit, relationships, bro, it just come full circle. So a lot of people don't know, like, I still got videos of this shit, like me, T Wayne, Cheddar, Vanilla Trill. They used to call him White Boy Chris.
Dancing
Vanilla Trill, Rizzo, JP, Bucci, Teddy, Raji. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Between Rizzo, JP, Bucci, Raji, and Teddy, they had a group called Mo Gang. And we had already been knowing them, you know what I'm saying? Because they had been making noise in the streets already, just being who they was. And we was making noise on the North too. I had ended up staying on the North for some years and just being with Cheddar and them. I'd be on the North with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the South Side. I'm from the Southwest, to be exact. But I used to be on an awful lot with them. So me being around Raji, Teddy, JP, Rizzo, and Vucci, they was already fucking with Walka them. And Cheddar ended up finding out about them too from Rizzo and them. So we was already making noise. They was making noise. I had already had the relationship with Mo Gang. I was just sending beats to Mo Gang, sending beats to JP, sending beats to Teddy, sending beats to Raji, sending beats to Rizzo. I'm just sending them beats. Yeah. And we ended up landing my first placement with TSF on Salsa Mania with Sancho and JP. Mm-hmm. And then after that, we had already been making music. I just had start pulling up to all these different studios, and then next thing you know, me and my brother, he had got out. Doughboy Sauce, a lot of people don't know that's my real brother, but Doughboy, he ended up getting out of prison in 2013, and one of his homies, you know what I'm saying, M10, shout out to M10. M10 had been rocking with Walk since they was kids, you know what I'm saying? So M10 told my brother, he like, hey, I got this artist, you know what I'm saying? His name at the time, his name was Sauce Walka. Still Sauce Walka to this day. He was like, man, he trying to get in the game. At the time, my brother, he had already been did MTV, did BET, and Source Awards, Ozone Magazine, all this different stuff. They had a group called Politicians back in the day. And they had already been doing a lot of shit, so they like, man, Walk be down here at my house all the time, down there from the street. down the street at the end of the back of the block where the studio was. So he like, man, help him out, see what you could do. So Walk come forward with Dog Boy, we shoot a video. You go watch the I Don't Know video. See my brother in the beginning talking about putting niggas on their pockets and shit. We was outside shooting the I Don't Know video. And ever since then, him and Walk started clicking. The night after we shot I Don't Know, we went to the studio and made Dada. And shit, after we made Dada, him and my brother just clicked so hard. He was like, man, we gotta do something, bro. We gotta call this shit something, bro. Like, what we gonna call it? Like, not gonna call it, you know what I'm saying, Southside versus everybody, because Rizzo and Teddy and all them, they from the North. So, like, fuck it, we just gonna call it the Sauce. At first, it was gonna be the Sauce Factory was the label, the Sauce Factory. It wasn't going to be the Sauce, like, you know what I'm saying? So it ended up being the Sauce, and everybody in the Sauce was the Sauce Familia. That's when TSF actually formed. It was just the Sauce Factory. But once we all came together from the North to the South, and it was producers and artists and influencers and all these different kind of people just coming together to push Houston to be the Mecca again, it became the Sauce family, Sauce Familia. And that's when it just took over the streets, and I started being one of the producers along with J-Ray 2 times.
I feel like, to me, like, from the outside looking in, and like how I heard the shit, I feel like you played like a big role in like that new sound that came into the city around Sauce and came and shit like that. So, like, was there ever a moment where you felt like when you started to feel like this is like this shit about like really about to take off? Is like that? Is that one of the moments where you feel like that?
Yeah, because at the time being like, I just was being so creative with the sound and just doing shit that nobody was doing, just coming different and creating my own sound to the point where people just started to steal what we was doing, and I started to see like, oh, the world's starting to get hip to us. Like, they starting to take what we doing and emulating what we doing. And what they say, imitation is the purest form of flattery that you can get. So once I started seeing people copy us, it kind of turned us off, because like, y'all wasn't doing what we was doing when we came in. Y'all was still trying to swag, and y'all trying to wear wallet chains and skinny jeans and tight shirts and snapbacks and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Which was cool. I'm not taking nothing away from, hip hoppy balls. That's just what it do. But we came out, we drip, we splash, we sauce. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to drip, spill, splash, sauce. And it's like, come on, bro, like, we can't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of started rubbing us the wrong way in the beginning, but now we embrace it. You know what I'm saying? For the last 10 years, drip is still a thing. Ain't no more swag, ain't no more of that. It's been drip. So
when was the moment where you felt like, where y'all felt like, all right, we just gonna start like this? Obviously, like, they just fucking with our sound to it. They feel like they gotta make. What was it like? Y'all just start feeling like, all right, we gonna embrace it. We gonna let it rock. We're gonna be cool. We know where it started.
I mean, shit, when we started to honestly just, people who was really fans of us, we was rubbing them the wrong way. And we didn't really mean to rub them the wrong way. We just wanted them to see, like, let us have what we created. But like I say, flattery is imitation. So in order for us to have fans, we have to let them be a part or feel a part of what we got going on. It's just like Nicki Minaj, she got the barbs. Megan got the hotties. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a fan base. You gotta have your fan base, and they want to feel a part of what you got going on. They want to feel like they in TSF, even if they not for real. We is TSF. Fuck you. It's a producer, big producer right now. I ain't gonna say no names because I'm just a very intelligent person. I play chess. It's a very big producer right now in the game that has stole one of my tracks and has put it out on a major artist album. With two major artists. It's a major artist album with a feature. This like 2021. This is like 3 years ago. Two big artists. But
what make you keep your cool with like shit like that though? Like, what make you?
Because I play chess. I'm 48 laws of power. I do a lot of reading and shit like that. Like, I'm very intelligent. I just, you know what I'm saying? My time gonna come, and when God give me my time, shit, ain't no telling what it's gonna be looking like for them when it's my turn.
So with Sauce and working with Sauce Walka and shit like that, do you feel like his sound, cause he came when he came in the game, he like coming in the house screaming and making all type of different sounds. So do you feel like his sounds and how he was coming on beats like ever made you think of like some other shit to create or add to a beat?
I ain't gonna lie, every single time, like still to this day, Walka is one of the most innovative artists I ever met. Yeah. Like a lot of these artists, they still doing the same sound they was doing years ago. Every year, Walk got a new flow. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I done heard Bill rap like Walk. I done heard Future on Future new album. He's rapping like Walk. Like I hear certain cadences that I know ain't nobody come up with that cadence. My brother did. I watched him falling asleep at the mic coming up with these lyrics and these cadences, bro. Y'all not stand up like this man is. This man fall asleep in front of the mic 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. We in there recording. He's falling asleep. And he coming up with better lines than niggas came up with 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just very innovative and creative. And the way he work and his ethic of work is just top tier. I don't think nobody could fuck with bro like that.
Was you on the project when he was doing like the first half of the song? It's like a regular speed, and on the second half it's chopping school. Was you on that project?
Yeah.
So was that
I got a lot of songs where he doing that shit. We actually started bringing the chop and screw shit back.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
When we first started it, but we kind of got the sound from just watching Southside and the rest of them. You know, everybody started using the gross beat shit, but the way we was making our beats and us being from Texas and the way we would do it on the tracks, it kind of, made it separate from what they was doing in Atlanta with the gross beat and shit like that. So yeah, I've pretty much been doing different, just all kind of shit with Walk, bro. Like a lot of the sounds that I use and I do today still have stemmed from me just being a creative with Walk. Yeah. Like his innovativeness, and every time we create a record, and what we did last time, it made me go even higher. Yeah. Like, oh, I did that last time. That shit was hard as fuck. What can I do to top that? Because that shit too hard. I want to make sure I'm. Yeah. So every time him being an artist elevate me, and me being a producer elevate him. It's a steady. You know what I'm saying? We feed off each other. And everybody else in TSF too. Especially Sosa Man. Like me and Sosa Man,
Have you ever found yourself like trying to chase, like say you had a song that you see wouldn't quite like the hit, like Flick of the Wrist, like have you ever found yourself trying to chase that sound and chase that beat?
I ain't gonna lie, I have chased that sound and used that sound again, and I have landed placements with that same sound. Yeah. And the songs was good as hell. Yeah. Some of them went under the radar, some didn't, but I definitely used that sound over and over and changed it up, switched it up, made it feel like that, but didn't exactly do it. But I'm sure every producer do that. You know what I'm saying? We all do that. It's called having your own sound. You get a sound that work. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep using it.
As a producer, do you feel like having multiple artists that you're working with help you keep like different sounds too? Like keep that.
Hell yeah.
So do you feel like that's important for artists to stay? Like what would be some advice you give to an artist to like on getting their first placement and then keeping that consistency as far as like getting these placements and shit like that?
Trust your ear, trust your soul. That's all I've been doing. Like every artist you done seen me work with, like I just trust my spirit and my mind to guide me to do whatever I need to do. That's like a lot of people wasn't seeing what Don Toliver was doing. Me and Cheddar saw what he was doing, and we believed and we saw the vision, and it just made me come a different way just because of how he was creating. So I followed what Don was doing, and I kind of meshed my sound and what I know I could do with him together, and we made history. You know what I'm saying? Got him his first deal.
What was the song? Like, what was the first big song y'all had?
Oh, the first big song we had was Back In. Yeah, that was the first big song we had.
So how long? Because I feel like I just found out about Don Toliver like 2-3 years ago. I feel like.
That's crazy.
So how long before? Like, was he already like popping in the city before that, or was it like?
Yeah, he was starting to bubble. I want to say like 2017 towards the end, he started bubbling up, and a lot of people don't even really just know. Like me and Cheddar came together, and we was really just like trying to figure out how we could make bro sound different from anything else.
So was he rapping? Like, was he rapping, or was he already like?
He was already doing the singing shit. Yeah. He was already doing it when we found him. And Van Joe, the one that started told him to start singing. That's one of his close homies that he still be with to this day. Shout out to my dog Van Joe. He told Don he just started doing that melody because his voice is so different.
Yeah.
And shit, once I heard him doing that melody, and he would like kind of scream with it, I was like, damn, that shit kind of hard. Like, so after that, me and Cheddar, we just kind of formulated a plan. Like, man, we need to start making him this type of shit. Like, so Cheddar would throw me ideas and shit, and I listen to what Cheddar throwing me, and I kind of sit on my own time when he not telling me nothing and just create ideas, bro. And we end up creating a sound for bro.
So where y'all relationship at right now? Like y'all still cool? Y'all still
Don's still my dog, man. I was at the Kodak Black in his video shoot when they was shooting that video. I was standing behind the camera watching all the scenes, right there behind the director, watching him shoot. Like standing right there directly behind him, watching everything. And my dog.
When did you start feeling like when was that moment where you felt like you actually like got something you can work with now? Like did you ever have jobs and shit like that, or was it straight? You been grinding this whole time.
Fresh out of high school, bro. I knew this what I wanted to do, and I wasn't gonna stop until I blew up. 2 years of me being out of high school, I made my first big song.
What was the support like? Well, no, you said they was buying you shit. You said they was buying you. You said your mom was buying you keyboards and shit like that.
Yeah, but that was like a regular little standard keyboard. You know what I'm saying? She had put me in piano classes, but I wasn't really feeling it. I just like I'm like Devin Miles in drumline. Like I don't want to sit down and learn how to read and write music. I know it sound good. Let me let God use me, and I'm gonna show y'all what good music sound like. Cause music is a feeling that can't be taught. You know what I'm saying? It can be taught when you want to learn theory, but as far as like learning the theory, all the great musicians that we hear music from today, yeah, they learned the theory, but they used the theory to create something that they wanted to play or they wanted to use or they wanted to hear. So you could teach me how to use it, but I'm still going to be the one to create the content that people want with using the tools. So it's just like shit, a construction worker know how to build a house, but he going to make the house the way he see fit in his head. That's going to make somebody say that house loud. I want to buy it. So yeah, I got the tools, but I'm still going to create what I want to create with them tools.
So man, explain the meaning behind the chain that you got on right now, bro.
Oh man, bro. So this was a gift to me on my 19th birthday from my cousin Chico. Rest in peace to my dog, man. He gave me this chain for my birthday, and this basically is the logo for a lot of people. You know, this FL Studio is one of the programs I used to make my tracks with. Made plenty of my hits with it, and my dog got it for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I've been having it for a real long time. It's very, very sentimental to me. It means a lot to me. So I'm probably gonna get about 3-4 more of these, the same exact color, same way, and everything. I'm gonna keep this original one.
Yeah.
Always gonna wear this one and about 2-3 more.
So is that what you still fucking with right now? As far as like Fruity Loops and making beats?
Oh yeah, but my first big hit came off of the machine. I make beats on Native Instruments machine. I just sent Cartel Bo like 2 or 3 beats that I made on the machine earlier this morning. So yeah, I still be on the machine. The machine just give me a whole different vibe. It make me make harder shit to me personally. It's the workflow.
Yeah.
It's the workflow and the push, cause like in FL Studio, like it's such an easy tool to use to where you don't even have to know how to play music or know anything about music to create a beat in there. But the machine, you have to really know how to create music to use it. So I love a challenge, you know what I'm saying? And the machine just challenges me creatively to come hard every time. Cause if you whack and you make something in there, it's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? FL Studio, you could be whack and you could make a beat in there and nobody will know that you whack.
Yeah.
Unless you just really whack.
Yeah.
But you could drop a loop in there, you can click some shit in, They even got the modes in there to where you can see what the scale is, and you could never make a wrong note in the beat. Like, it's easy to use. Machine don't have that. You gotta know how to play this, or it's gonna show that you just terrible.
Do it be like shit like going on to where it's like producers try to keep their own like softwares or different type of shit they use to themselves?
No, we pretty much all using the same shit.
Yeah.
The only way nigga might do that is if like you use a VST that you know somebody else used, and you find a sound in there that you know somebody else ain't found yet, and you just gatekeep it to yourself. I got a few of them sounds like that, but now these days, like, I done got to the point where I don't want to sound like nobody, so I done, over the years, I done bought like different keyboards, and they all had different sounds on them made by different companies, and I just use the sounds off of them and record them into the software and use the drums, because I know y'all not finna spend no money like I'm spending money to go get these. You gotta spend money to play with me, you know what I'm saying? So that's what's made me stand out now.
What's the best beat machine? Like what's the top rated one? They would say.
To me, is the Roland MV 8800. It has the biggest sound. Like, they call it the MPC killer, but the MV 8800 made by Roland or the MPC 3000. Them the two badass beat machines.
What really be the difference within like the machines? Like, what really be the
sound cards? They all have their own built-in sound cards that take the frequencies and manipulate them into good quality. So it's kind of like having a Sony camera versus a Canon camera. You know what I'm saying? The inside and the way that it's made up to give you quality through the lens is just how it's made for whatever it's made for. And a lot of these beat machines are made for certain genres and certain things, but we use them for what we use them for, and they just do their best shit. So I choose them two over all, you know what I'm saying, the top tier. But me personally, I use the machine. It sounds good. They made it standalone now, the way you don't got to use a computer. I love the way that bitch sound by itself. So hell yeah.
Man, I see you drop 2 albums before. Like, so you ever planning on bringing them back? I see the say 2020 you had dropped.
2025 coming with a new album. I'm working on it now.
So what makes you stop in between that?
Just like I said before, for a while I just went without getting placements, because at one point in life I was just in a hyperbolic time chamber, just trying to get me right as a person, get my production right as a person, you know, just building my relationships more, and just, you know what I'm saying, just training myself for the big game. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm back in the big game, working with all the artists that I've been working with, and we just doing hellified, turned up, super crazy shit. And we got these crazy opportunities going on right now. So I had just took a hiatus real quick. Yeah, we back now, you know what I'm saying?
All right, man. To all the people that's been rocking with you, you know, showing you love through your whole journey, your whole career as far as being a producer, and then, you know, making his name in the city, everybody that's been rocking with you, showing you love. What you got to say to them right now?
I appreciate y'all for genuinely rocking with me all these years and trusting in my vision and my mind and my heart and everything that I put into this music, just believing in me and knowing that I'm going to keep y'all, you know, in good hands, bro. We're going to make the best quality shit. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all for understanding how much I care about this shit. And I appreciate y'all for caring just as much as I care about the shit, because that way we going straight to where we need to go, baby. Yeah, so I appreciate y'all. I love all y'all, bro, for real.
Every new artist coming up gotta tap them Busttdown. You gonna get out quick.